Finding the right drill to get you better results on the rowing machine can become a bit of a chore because there are so many videos out there, and it's understandable. Picking the one that's gonna have the greatest impact is really what you're trying to do at the end of the day. Well, there's one drill that I can pretty much guarantee you almost every single rower probably started with as their very first drill, that in about 5 minutes can help you get better results faster and enjoy your workouts more. And stick around, because at the end, I'm actually gonna go through it with you for 5 minutes so that you can do the drill with me and feel confident knowing you're doing it right. So funny story, my first time checking out rowing with an actual rowing team was showing up to an informational meeting, didn't know anything about the sport. Coaches put me on a machine, said do 6,000 meters and we'll talk to you at the end. That's a rough way to start figuring out rowing. Let's not let it be that for you. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Shane Farmer, this is Dark Horse Rowing, where you build the life that you want to live, and we just happen to use rowing to help you get to where you want to go. There's a drill that pretty much every rowing coach starts with, and if it's not the very first, it's the second drill that they implement with their athletes, because it just so succinctly sums up the entirety of the stroke, but helps to clarify the points enough that the coach can get a lot of value out of a singular drill. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And the reason that we need to actually think about technique when it comes to the movement of rowing is because it's just not a natural movement. And I've said this before, but if you think about what we're doing, we're on a horizontal sliding seat with our feet fixed in place and a handle that we have to transfer power to. Now, we could probably find a real world usage of that movement, but in a repetitive state like that, I would argue that that isn't a natural human function that we perform. So it's critical that we actually take a moment to just learn, how do we properly move on this thing if we want to get better results on it? Honestly, where it gets tough though is picking the drill to start with, because there are so many different areas of the stroke that you could focus on. And even as a coach, having been doing this for 10 years now, sometimes it's tough for me to figure out what is the right thing that I need to start with this person on, and how do I get them their first big leap. Well, again, that's why so many of us coaches fall back on this drill as kind of step one, because it gets us a long ways and covers a lot of bases quickly. So this drill that every coach starts with, it's called the pick drill. And it's called that because in essence, we pick the stroke apart into its pieces, and then we reassemble them together to build up to an entire stroke. And why that's so important is because when you begin this movement, it's really critical that every stage of the movement be identified as its own piece, not as one-time event. It should really be thought of as its separate pieces and learned as each individual piece, because that allows you to parcel it out in your mind. So you can think, got it, I know how the legs are supposed to push, or I know how my hips are supposed to swing, and I know how the arms are supposed to move with the handle. Not just, I'm supposed to get from point A to point B. I'm supposed to understand every phase or every piece of the puzzle, and then I can assemble them, and over time, the lines between them begin to blur. And that's something that, when you see somebody move and it looks so effortless, and you wonder why they can put so much power into the machine or onto an oar handle and go so fast without seemingly putting in a lot of effort. There is a lot of effort happening. It's just that each of those segments has been so practiced over time that together they look incredibly smooth now. So what's actually happening in the pick drill? Well, you are breaking down the system into its parts, and then you're going to bring those parts back together once you've isolated each of them enough to the point of gaining a better understanding of how that segment works. Then when all the segments come back together, you get a full stroke. So when we get going with the pick drill, the things we want to be thinking about: number one, make sure your setup is appropriate. Now, we've covered setup in other videos, but briefly, just so you can think about it, it's feet, seat, and hands, your 3 contact points. Now, the first contact point being your feet, you want to adjust the foot stretcher such that the strap is running across the widest part of your foot or your lowest shoelace. That's a good target for you to think about. Next, on your seat, you want to be scooted as far forward as you can comfortably sit. Now, that's not so far forward that you feel like you're about to fall off the front edge, but you don't want to be sitting at the back, because the front edge of that seat will actually dig into your hamstrings. That becomes very uncomfortable. From there, you're going to, with your hands, hold the handle nice and wide, and then you're going to close the circuit between your thumb and your forefinger just lightly by the tips of the fingers touching, not overlapping. The rule of thumb that I like to set is If the handle is in the palm of your hand, you're gripping it too tight. You should have a loose enough grip that it's sitting in your fingers or your knuckles, not the palm. Now, from there, we can actually start the drill. What that means is legs straight, quads squeezed so that my knee is in extension. I'm holding my knees locked out. They're not just lazily sitting here being able to move. So I want to squeeze my quads, and that's why I've got tights on for you today so that you can see how my legs are engaged here. Now, with that leg or that quad squeezed, I'm going to sit upright, keeping my good posture, and I'm going to lay my body back at 11 o'clock. So 11 and 1, that's my swing pattern for my trunk. So I set my back at 11 o'clock. From there, I'm going to put that handle straight out in front of me. Essentially, I'm trying to drive a straight line from where the chain inserts into the machine or the strap, depending on what kind of machine you're using, to all the way to my shoulders, creating a nice straight line. No weird angles happening here. So that handle's straight in. Now from here, I'm just gonna start by rowing with my arms. It's called arms only. And what I'm doing is isolating all the different pieces of the stroke where I understand how to move the handle continuously. I understand how to not hit myself. I understand how to not stop at the front and the back. I understand how to move the handle without my hands moving up and down. These are the things that we can isolate when we take away the legs and the hips and the trunk and focus just on the arms. Next, you start adding in the hip swing. So now you begin to work on the progression of the stroke. The quads are still squeezed down. And now I start to let the arms go. Once the arms are extended, I close the hips and then swing the hips open again. Now I'm practicing that rock between 11 and 1 with posture, okay? But I'm still not worrying about the legs. You'll notice as well, this gives me a chance to focus on what is my handle doing as I close the hips. Okay, making sure the hands don't rise or dip, they're not dragging on my legs, we don't want to see that. Okay, and finally, once I've established that pattern, then I can actually add my legs into the mix. I can begin to row with my legs, and that is going to now give us the full stroke. And at this point, the hardest part for people is maintaining what they just learned in the first two pieces of the pick drill to then add in the legs. All right, so now that I've put those things together, let's run through what this actually would look like in 5 minutes. So get onto your machine. I'm gonna do it with you. We've got 5 minutes to drill together. 5 minutes of this drill, we're gonna start with arms only. Then we'll go to arms and hips or arms and torso. Then we will go to a full slide stroke. Then we will come back to arms and torso. Then we'll be finishing with arms only. That's 1 minute at each. That gives us 5 total minutes. So follow along with me. The real objective here is that you get confident moving with me. So follow my stroke rate no matter what I do so that you have nothing to think about except good technique, if that makes sense. Don't run out, run ahead on stroke rate. Don't get excited and get ahead of me. Stick with me on stroke rate and you'll find that after a bit, that actually becomes kind of calming to you because then you just get to think about the mechanics and not unnecessary things right now like stroke rate. All right, let's sit ready. Starting with arms only. Ready, row. Remember, keep those legs squeezed. Keep your quads squeezed and tight. Follow my stroke rate. Feels smooth and connected. Okay, in 5 seconds, we're gonna add in the hip swing. 3, 2, 1, adding in the hips. Notice I'm really segmenting it. Yes, it's supposed to feel this segmented right now in response to your question, most likely. Let it feel strange right now. If it doesn't feel strange, it's probably too smooth for the technique that we're looking for. Arms away, close the hips, swing the hips, snap the arms in. I'm trying to maintain a level handle. In 10 seconds, we're gonna add in the legs. This will be a full stroke. Make sure to keep what we've learned and just practiced right here. In 2, 1, on this stroke. Here we go. Arms away, close the hips, let the knees bend, push with the legs, swing the hips, snap the arms. Arms away, close the hips, knees bend. Push with the legs, swing the hips, snap the arms. Don't worry about power. Don't worry about pressure. Worry about your mechanics. I'm doing it the same way I am. Match my stroke rate. Yeah, I know, the stroke rate's low. That's the whole point. Stick with me here. This is just 5 minutes of drill work. About to take the legs away. And taking away the legs. So now you just swing those hips, snap the arms again. Anyone else's shoulders starting to burn a little bit? That's good. When that starts to happen, it means you're supporting that handle and keeping that handle elevated instead of being lazy and letting the handle drop into your lap. You might be feeling some hamstring tension right now as you close the hips. That's a good feeling as well. Keep your posture upright as you swing the hips closed. Ten more seconds, we drop out the hips or the torso, and we go back to arms only. 2, 1, on this stroke, arms only. Final minute. This should actually feel a little bit easier now. It'll make a little bit more sense. It'll click with everything else that we're doing. 45 seconds to go. Being smooth, not trying to overpower it, keeping the trunk locked in place. Don't let your body pull to the handle, right? Pull the handle all the way to you. Keep following my rhythm here. Seconds to go. Three, 2, 1, and done. So the prescription that I want for you on this is that you hit this 5 minutes before every single workout for the next 3 weeks and see what the results are. So taking consistent stock of your technique is going to be the one thing that's going to give you better results. I cannot emphasize that enough. There is no shortcut. You need to spend time on the technique, and the better you can do that, the faster you can do that, and perhaps the less time but more impactful time, quality versus quantity, right? Good quality technique time versus just tons of technique time is gonna give you better results in the long run. The best bang for your buck is to continue implementation, and I can't stress that enough. So to continue that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get alerted when we come out with new videos, and check out this playlist of our best technique videos from 2019 so you can continue your progression and get better every single day.